Are you struggling for consistency in your sim racing? Does your iRating look like a roller coaster? If so, we have good news for you. The way to get more consistent is to first understand what you're doing differently than the professionals. And VRS is the answer. With our competitive subscription, you will have the telemetry, setups, tutorials, and everything else you need to fully analyze your driving. Our data packs and the ability to compare your driving with the best in the world will show you exactly where to adjust your inputs, change your driving line, and shave seconds off of your lap times. And our powerful and precise Direct Force Pro wheelbase and precision pedals are being used by some of the world's best drivers. All these champions agree that VRS hardware is not just the best on the market, it's also priced well below the competition. So if you're looking to upgrade to direct drive and the best pedals in sim racing, VRS is your answer. If you want to get better, get faster, and make it happen sooner rather than later, you owe it to yourself to find out why so many people are switching to VRS. You'll be so glad that you did. Visit www.virtualracingschool.com and learn why the best use VRS.
First and second place result for Andrea Dallaval 1 week ago at Aragon kept the Absolute Motorsports Ace List drivers' Slim Championship hopes alive. A decent result, however, for his teammate Alessandro Porta tonight would end the title battle with 1 round to spare. If there's going to be a bad result, however, this could well be the round for it to happen as we visit the circuit Gilles Villeneuve in Montreal for round 11 of the Apex Racing League GT3 trophy. Welcome to Apex Racing TV. No studio broadcast for us tonight, but myself, Sam Fitzpatrick, and David Sampson are still going to be talking over the action with Luis Araya, bringing you this stream on our YouTube channel. And David, it is crunch time in the championship. 2 more rounds to go, 1 more round to go after this one. And this is a pretty nervy one. If you're runner-up in the championship at this point in the season, this is a track that you want to be visiting. If you're comfortably in the lead, it's maybe the worst track to visit because things can turn sour here very, very quickly.
Yeah, brilliant track to come to the last 2 rounds. A great choice from you. I'm always upset iRacing don't use this circuit more. I know we had it in IMSA this week, but with Bathurst and the popularity around it, it's just participation's been hit. But yeah, this track, we mustn't forget it's a street circuit, pushing wall to wall. The Wall of Champions is iconic for many reasons. But yeah, I love the racing at this track. I've always enjoyed myself here, but you do have to push things to the limit to be quick, 100%.
Yeah, and pushing it just that extra inch or 2 close to the walls, that can be where that extra little bit of pace is available. And it's certainly what the drivers are going to try to be unlocking during the qualifying session, which has already started. The amateurs are currently out on track, and then of course we'll have the Pro-Ams and the pros. I mean, I absolutely agree with you, David, in terms of it's a shame that this circuit doesn't get visited more enough or get recognised by iRacing, because this is possibly my second favourite track on the sim, behind Suzuka obviously, especially to drive. It is so satisfying to try to find that extra 1/10 of a second.
There's probably only one thing I hate about this track, and that's if someone pits in front of you and you're not expecting it, because
sure,
it washes away that feeling of a braking zone when they carry on going. I've been a cropper to that. I mean, I've had it two ways. I've had it where I've missed my braking zone before because it just zaps your concentration away. But I've also been in the situation with a pile-up where there's so much confusion that a lot goes wrong, and it's it's the trickiest corner of the track. And while it might seem simple just to go straight on, I don't know, it throws that different element at this track. But no, I love this track. I really do. I think it's yeah, it's a real driver's track, and you've got to maximise the curb usage, you've got to maximise the track width. The pit stop here is crucial. Even the pit exit, not the easiest of pit exits to manoeuvre and stay safe with the line you come out on. So yeah, I think the winner here takes away a lot, because it's a driver's track, I would say.
Yeah, absolutely. And overtaking is going to be tricky around this circuit, and so this qualifying session is probably one of the more important ones for this season. And it is currently Jonathan Cook. He wasn't even sure if he was going to be able to take part tonight. I think his VR has been playing up in the practice session. He commented on that about an hour ago, but by his very strong time so far in this qualifying session, it looks like he's got that all resolved, and is currently clear of Nikolai Agard. However, Agard was phenomenal last time out. Him and Cook, to be fair, were phenomenal last time out. Cook did a particularly fantastic in race 2. However, Agard in this practice session, I think, was up in the top 8 again. He has really elevated himself almost to pro level. He is the championship leader at the moment, is Nikolai Agard in the amateur category. So I reckon he's going to be able to pass Cook, even when Cook is going even faster. He's now 0.6 of a second clear.
Yeah, looks like a good time. Obviously, we need to see the pros. I don't know what a good lap around here in GT3 is, unfortunately. Agard's always been strong, especially as the season's progressed. He's got stronger and stronger. I mean, did you say Cook's leading the championship?
Agard's leading.
Agard, okay, that does make sense, because he's just in my head. He's been so strong over the season.
Yeah, we can have a look at the points actually at the moment. And yeah, there they are. Nikolai Agard
So it's
clear
close still
of Cook. But yeah, Cook has outscored him in the last 2 rounds. 8 points 2 weeks ago, 10 points 1 week ago. And this could change. It could change around, especially with Cook with this strong qualifying performance at the moment. Let's have a look at the other championship lanes as well. We can look at the Pro-Ams, I think, next. And it's Michael Hooper, who is clear of Andrea Del Piccolo. Hooper with another solid haul of points, extending that championship lead by 6 points last time out. So he's just doing enough, and it would take a massive effort from Del Piccolo in order to make up those points. In the pros, Porter is very nearly there. If he beats Delaval tonight, that's it. Delaval needs to outscore him by at least 16 points tonight in order to keep the championship alive going into the final round. So that is the prospect for Andrea Delaval, who, if he can repeat his performance from Aragon 1 week ago, he could well force it to round 12.
Yeah, teammates though, right? He might claim team orders. No, I think they're close enough to make this battle run. Obviously, we're seeing the team standings where, unfortunately, it hasn't been close, has it? Obviously, you've got that good battle for third with Racing and ADX. But absolute ace, Motorsport Ace have absolutely run away with it.
Yes, and Delachaz had a good round last time out. They managed to get the race 2 victory, of course, with Antoine Graman, I believe it was. He managed to take the race win. So, yeah, that was really secured their place, second place in the championship, well clear of those third place teams, as you said before. But we're now 11 minutes in, and that is the end of amateur qualifying, and there wasn't really a response from Nikolai Agard, who was faster than Cook in practice, but missed out by 0.6 of a second in qualifying.
Chunk of
So
time.
that is what Cook needed if he's going to come back in this championship. What I would say is that Cook's time there was only half a second off the best time in practice. I think that's going to be a top 10 time come the end of qualifying. Agard's maybe outside the top 20. And so there could be quite a split between the two of them, with Cook needing to make up points in the championship. That is exactly what the BMW driver needed.
Yeah, 100%. I've just had a flashback. Something you said. I remember early in the pandemic, I actually beat Rubens Barrichello at this track in GT3. Although it took a slowdown in the last chicane for him to have to let me pass on the white flag, which was quite a cool feeling. I mean, I could have waited, but I took the opportunity. It's such a committal corner, not only on entry, how much curb you're going to take, but also, you know, how much speed you're going to carry close to the wall of champions. I think it's a brilliant corner, personally.
Yeah, I agree. And also, it's got that feeling because it's so iconic. You know what you're aiming for going into the corner, where you think, yeah, the best drivers run it all the way to the line. They're the ones who take the majors curb, and the ones who get closest to the wall on corner exit. And yeah, that one is so much fun to tackle. Whether it be GTs like this or single seats as well, it's a very tempting corner.
Yeah, some of my time through IMSA back in the ILMS days in GTE, this was actually one of my favourite tracks in GTE. Even with multi-class, I don't know, I think this track has everything, and it demands a lot of the driver as well. I mean, I'm always that way. I like multi-class, I like rain, I like busy tracks, I like doing something called race long. That's why Sebring's, Sebring, Road Atlanta, these tracks are right up there for me. After, say, a year of multi-class, when I go to do a sprint race, especially with the draft model as it is, it's a completely different beast. I don't know. I've always been different. I like sprint racing like this, but it demands something completely different. I think I just like to hide my pace. I get to blame it on traffic, right? That's the excuse I always get to give. Whereas this is, you've got to nail your consistency, you've got to nail your qualifying, you've got to... Yeah, with the draft the way it is in iRacing and sprint racing, it's about being super consistent. And a track like this, like you said, maximising the width to get getting as close to those walls as humanly possible. Like here, we're on board with Avanzini, who's not cutting that first curb. He went around it very politely, which is... There's a 10th there already.
Yes, yeah, I think you're right. And then this sort of awkward left and right, it's not quite well, it is a chicane, but it doesn't really feel like a chicane going through it. And then, of course, we got another one coming up soon after. Sketchy currently top of the Pro-Am drivers. Lauritsen in second place. Sketchy has been in a fantastic run of form recently. I think he scored good points last time at Aragon. One of the most improved drivers, I think, across the season. So he's looking to get another haul of points up to 6th place, actually, in the championship now, is Carl Sketchley. Could still pass Aske Lauritsen for 5th place in the championship by the end of the season. Those two currently the fastest 2 Pro-Am drivers, but I think there's going to be a fair few more improvements, especially from the likes of Del Piccolo and Ubertali. Hooper's yet to put in a lap, and Rattiani as well, also yet to put in a lap in this qualifying session.
Yeah, Jono in chat was just saying, yeah, the lap wasn't too bad, I suppose, so he's obviously happy. Someone's asking if the intro music should be on in the background.
I think we've sorted that now.
Okay, cool.
We have sorted that. I wouldn't blame them for wanting the intro music over our voices, but some of the intro music we have at Apex is very good. Handpicked by myself and Lewis Ward.
Oh, that's what makes it good, right? You and Lewis picking a song, yeah.
I personally gravitate towards jazz.
Yeah.
The more jazz, the better for me when it comes to intro music, and very much Lewis's role is to pull me away from that as far as he possibly can.
Yeah, Cook's lap's holding up well. We've had the first laps in from the Pro-Ams.
Good time there from Ubertali to move up into 2nd place. Fastest first sector of anyone.
Yeah, that really does help Cook's championship fight here. Now he's got already a 6 position deficit between the two. And I think you're probably right, by the time the pros and all the AMs have finished their lap, that's going to be quite the difference.
Yeah, and Del Piccolo's going to get in amongst them, I'm sure, as well. What was the time from Hooper? So Hooper up into 5th place. That's not a fantastic time there from Hooper, considering compared to what he's produced for most of the season.
Yep.
But still not too far off. He has taken pole in the Pro-Ams in 2 of the last 4 meetings as the Pro-Am as Hooper. This is an outlap for him, as you can see on the timing tower. Lots of drivers just warming up their tyres, and they'll go for another launch. They've got until the 20-minute mark, and yeah, a little bit beyond that. They've got to start their lap before the 20-minute mark. So they might be able to push on this one, toe back, and do another outlap and still get another lap in by the end of their allotted time.
Yeah, for sure. It's gonna just trying to see who's out and actually pushing. We're on board with Hooper. Can we get on board with someone soon? I'd like to just watch their lap. Let's see if we can get. I love watching people push this track. There we go. Oh, we're on board with Robert. No pressure, Robert. You got this.
Yeah, you can be mean to Robert.
No,
So
I can't.
pick out all the errors that he's making.
Yeah, I can't say I haven't lapped here in a season, but let's have a look. We'll see everything about his laps summed up now.
Do you
if
think
he
he's going
really-
to take all the curb or none?
I
of
hope
the
so.
curb?
Yeah, you got to take all of it on entry. I think it's worth so much time. But he goes for half, and the problem with half on that, is that's the problem with not taking more on the entry, is you're left with having to slap half of it on the second.
I mean, it's sort of, as Van Horn moves up to 11th place ahead of Del Piccolo, so it was an improvement. It's sort of a bit like the Watkins curb in a way, where some of these curbs, particularly the chicane before the hairpin, the best way to go over it is directly over it. So if like the height of the curb is on the floor of the car and you've got the wheels either side of it, that's the best way to go through the corner. That can be risky because you risk picking up a slowdown, but that's by far the fastest way to get through it. And that final chicane is sort of the same way in terms of that first curb that comes up on the right, where yeah, the more you take it, the less unsettled the car goes, as Del Piccolo and Avanzini improved to 5th and 6th.
Yeah, 100%. Watkins Glen, I always say the closer to the wall you get, the safer it is. Not the faster, the safer as well, because you're further from the... You would definitely miss the bump if you almost take off a wing mirror. And it's faster. But it's not one of those alien moves, just more curb you can get.
Yeah. Van Horn with a couple of personal best sectors on this lap.
But he's moving over to the left. You've got to stay right here. We're in GTs, not prototypes. You just want to stay to the right, run the shortest line, and then bring it over to the left slowly.
Ubertali, by the way, improved to 2nd place, but he's not going to go out. They're not got enough time to do an out lap. And so Van Horn is going to be one of the last drivers to set a lap, but that has ruined it. Like I said, it was a couple of good sectors. I think he would have been up there around Hutchinson and Agard with that lap, but instead he is stuck down in 12th.
Yeah, it's just that entry of that first curb. It helps open it all up if you can... I mean, I haven't driven here in the season, so maybe it's a little bit more difficult than it used to be. As you see, Del Piccolo staying over to the right.
This is a really good lap from Del Piccolo. He's actually up on Cook. Let's see if he can deliver in the final chicane.
Yeah, looking good.
This will be at least top 3. It could be pole position here for Andrea Del Piccolo. But it is just that P3. He did lose out by a 10th, and he actually lost a 10th and a half to Cook in that final chicane. So Cook clearly nailed that final chicane, and that might be the difference between him and the Pro-Ams.
Yeah, but if you're going to smash into that curb, there's no other car than the BMW that you'd want to be in personally, I think. I wouldn't want to be in the driving the BMW all lap, but that last chicane, that'd be the car of choice for me to actually smash the curb and not worry. So the Pro-Ams have got what? No, they're done now, right?
Yeah, I don't think anyone's on a lap still. Maybe Hooper, but it's not a push lap. So
No,
yeah,
correct,
everyone's
yeah.
complete.
Okay, so the big boys are out. So we're really seeing the Dalaval Porter battle. That's going to be the big one, but it looks like they're going out. Like usual, they're working together in qualifying. That's been a staple of their team all season long.
Wonder what they'll do in terms of the warm-up lap. Jonathan Cook in chat saying how 2 warm-up laps is actually the best way to go. So let's see if these pro drivers adopt that, or whether they're just going to do the 1 warm-up.
Yeah, I always say the BMW though is not a... It's never easy to heat up the rears in the BMW. I assume they're running lower wing here. And I just find the BMW's rears just never come in. That's why I always call it, it's not a qualifying car. Obviously it's a very consistent car over a stint. I've got to stop being mean to the BMW. I've got to drive it tomorrow morning for 12 hours, so... It's a good, consistent car. It's never been a qualifying car for me with iRacing's 2-lap format.
So here they all launched then for this first time.
Following close, aren't they?
Yeah, they are. Tortoise, I think, is at the front of the pack. He's got a pole position this season. Tofts has got a pole position this season. I mean, pretty much half the pro field have got a pole position. Jonathan Cook, surprisingly, or not surprisingly, has not got a pole position this season in the overall standings. I don't think he's going to do it tonight. In practice, the fastest time was a 34.0. Of course, track conditions change. I think it is going to be getting a little bit slower out there, but I reckon still 34.1 is going to be the pole position time. Who is going to perform it though? Zach White did look good in qualifying. He maybe is the fastest, or the favourite.
Yeah, for sure. And he needs, we were chatting to this a little bit before the broadcast, but he needs to out-qualify all of the teammates. Otherwise, team games will be played, obviously, with Delaval and Porter being able to pick up the championship. Really. Oh, that can't... I know I said committal, but that looked like
I mean,
that was track.
Yeah, he's off.
Yeah, I was going to say that was a lot.
Doesn't want to get the black flag. Not giving his teammates a draft either. And maybe one of the others as well. Oh, they're all gone slow. Okay, I don't know if they all made the same mistake or whether they were going for a double warm-up lap, but they've all ditched the lap.
Yeah, it's like they're ditching it together. I have no idea.
Zach White's pole position, but only by 700ths of a second.
Yeah, Cook's built different by the looks of his lap pace he's been doing lately, especially the latter half of the season. And as you was mentioning your tortoise, if memory serves, your tortoise has been doing really well lately in qualifying, and so he is someone to look out for. He's been definitely punching a lot higher than he was at the beginning of the season.
Van der Nesse currently on pole. I think he took pole back at Watkins Glen, did Van der Nesse, if I recall correctly. And he is currently on top for this qualifying session. What's he in 6th place? Of course, we don't know what the Absolute Motorsports Aceless drivers' pace is, but they weren't impressive, at least Delaval and Porter weren't impressive, in practice. So I wouldn't guarantee that they're necessarily going to be on the front 2 rows of the grid.
Yeah, very true. Very true. Let's see. I do think those the Italians are going to be strong here, though. They're in the right car. But I know Zach's quick at this track. It's a track. Well, yeah, he likes Bathurst, and this has got very similar traits with the committal level to the walls, and yeah, it's going to be a good fight. That's a good lap from Van der Nesse. Where's Torquia? P9. So yeah, the pros haven't stretched their legs yet. At the moment, 1st, 2nd, and 6th.
White, there you go, 34.1. That could be unbeatable.
He would like to hear that, I bet.
And it was on the 2nd lap as well for White, so maybe that is evidence that the 2 warm-up lap does work. Porty up to 3rd, Toffs up to 4th. Toffs the only man, I think, with multiple pole positions this season. He's got 3 of them. Porty, though, ahead of him in 3rd.
He's looking good. Toffs to P4.
Porter to P8 and ahead of Delaval by 100.
So that's the championship battle right there, isn't it?
Yeah.
Do you think mathematically Zach can do it? Let's say if they really were to qualify 8th and 9th and fall back in the race and Zach won the race, is he actually mathematically out of the championship?
I think so. I think if Porter doesn't finish either race, and if Delaval doesn't finish either race, and if Puozzi does quite badly, then White can still win the championship. I think realistically, they'd both need a heart attack in order to give White a chance, and White would have to do very well still.
And there's no drops there. All the drops have been processed, right?
Yeah, 2 chops. So yeah, that's what I'm trying to figure out in my head. Porter's obviously got an awful chop. Both Delaval and Porter both got a 0 score. But their next worst score is both 105 points. The maximum amount of points you can score in a meeting is 140.
Wow.
For context, Porter's worst round this season was a round where he scored the 3rd most points of anyone. So that's how consistent he's been.
Yeah, that's impressive.
And even the round where he didn't finish, was Van der Nesse... Is that a slow down?
I
think he's kept it put down.
Yeah?
That's a purple 2nd sector for Chris Van der Nesse.
Yeah, by a chunk of change as well. Oh, as he takes a nice acceleration. Does he stay right? Let's see. Yes, look at that. This is the line. And then as it branches left, you might as well just let the car track left. Yeah, perfect. That's how you want to do it. Minimal steer, and shortest line. Right, Porsche should be good here. Let's see.
Yeah,
I want to see a
needs a
big
centre.
Kirby. But carrying a bit quick, but that was nicely handled. Yeah, that was nice. He carried a good entry speed there by the looks of it. Well, because I leant back in my seat, so it must have been.
I don't think this will be enough for pole, but it should improve. Oh, it was close. It was very close. It was
very close.
It wasn't actually a personal best third sector. Had he set a personal best third sector, I think it would have been enough for pole position. But it's still a really good effort there from him. Porter, by the way, improved on that second lap of his. He's up into 6th position. I think your Tortoise may have just... no, someone crossed the line and improved. Maybe Tokyo, I think, maybe moved up to 11th position. White's trying to... Oh, this is an out lap for White.
Yeah.
And he's going to have one more... No, he's going to have 2 more attempts if he wants it.
Nice. Robert in chat saying Jonathan Cook should be in pros. He has the pace for it, for sure. He really does. And he's been shown that time and time again, actually. Right, let's follow Zach's lap then. So, we'll see. I mean, to be honest, we'll know, because if this lap isn't in, he'll probably back down and just cycle the tiles for the next lap rather than overly push them. Let's see the cut he does. Yeah, a big cut and a big cut and really close to the wall. Very nice. Right, let's see here. What's he going to do? Deep or full cut? Because you've got the 2 choices. I think full cut. Yep, full cut. Full cut, push out to the wall. A little bit of a slip there. And he's probably a bit concerned by the slower going BMW. And he stays right, look at this, for the shorter line.
Personal best sector 1.
Yeah.
Oh, look at Van Nesse. Van Nesse's gone top.
Yeah,
he was able to improve on that third sector.
Zach's going to be praying the BMW stays right here, and he does. So he gets a little bit of draft, nothing major. As we see Zach. We're late first. Let's see.
Not a good second sector. Not a good second sector. He's got a lot of work to do.
Yeah, that's... Well, yeah, it's a 10th. It's just over a 10th. And he was only a few thousandths up on the first, so he needs a full yeet here. But he's also going to have at the back of mind he needs to set up the run for the next lap as well, because it's going to be his last chance. Let's see. Oh, that's the best line. Oh, best line we saw into the first curb, but caught the second curb poorly. And Robert, if you're still in chat, mate, you've got to take the shorter line on the straight, mate. When you come off the hairpin, stay right, and then branch left after the wall. We're allowed to give tips to drivers, right, Sam? There's no...
Oh, yeah, because
okay,
we're better than them, obviously, aren't we?
Because we're better than them, yes, obviously.
White didn't have fuel for another lap. Toffs improved to 3rd. So that was a good effort from him. Sampaoli moves up to 9th. We've still got Delaval on a lap, so that's going to be really significant for him. Not a very good first sector at all, though, from Delaval. This is Caserta. He's trying to improve. He's got an ATX car just in front of him. Yeah, lap's over, though. He's too close. He's too close. This can't be it. That was his first actual lap, and he went to 24th. But yeah, they've not got enough time to complete this lap, so that'll be it for them. Oh, of course, 32 is the limit. Delaval completed that lap, but I think he may have given up on it. So Delaval's down in 12th place, and really, that's not a surprise. He was 16th in practice, 12th in qualifying from the man who was absolutely the fastest driver last time out. Maybe Tortoise Kanagi would have won race 1, but certainly besides Tortoise, Delaval was unbeatable really last time out, and not on it tonight then. Yeah, it does seem. So this is going to give Porter, well, every chance he needs to help wrap up the championship. I mean, unless, yeah, I mean, if it finished as it is, Porter has practically won the championship, I assume. Yeah. Because Delaval needs to, yeah, he needs to beat Porter. Yeah, I don't even know what I'm considering here. He needs to beat Porter this race. Can he get ahead of Cook, Porter? No, he can't. The AM driver beating the championship leader overall. What a performance that was from Jonathan Cook. That must be the best lap of Jonathan Cook's life there. It was about 3 tenths faster than his practice time as well, so he really found something. So a phenomenal performance from him. Brandon Esse, though, back on pole position. I think that's the first time since Watkins Glen that he's taken pole position. did win a round earlier this season, didn't he? He did win at Sebring, I think, earlier this
I remember.
season.
Yeah, I think so. I'm just trying to think back myself.
Yeah, because he got reverse grid pole on that day.
Right, that was it.
And yeah, it took the he actually got reverse grid pole last time out as well, Aragon. But he's got proper pole this time, and I think he got the proper pole back at Watkins as well.
Oh,
He is ahead of Zach White, who will fancy his chances there from second place. Then it's Jacob Tofts, Alessandro Porzi, Jonathan Cook lines up top of the AM drivers in fifth. Then it's Porter, Yatortus, Ubertali top of the Pro-Ams, San Paoli, Del Piccolo with a strong performance, Pagnini and Dalaval in 12th. Then it's Torquio, Sketchley, Luritzen, Graman, Avanzini, Hooper down in 18th place, Roman Bokler with some work to do as well. The guys who were strong but last time out, Aragon, not performing tonight. Hutchinson in 20th. Then you go back to the second place driver, Nikolai Agard, who's got a lot of work to do in order to keep his championship lead. Then it's Russ Fowler, Martin Schwab, Marcello Caserta, Robert Van Horn, Giacomo Carinante, Adam Hedgecock, Cheyenne Velden Helden, Mads Luritzen, Ludovic Delat, and Ilya Rettiani.
very good lap from Cook. Very good lap. I mean, just to outqualify Porter is one thing, but to outqualify that many pros is another. So short grid.
Short grid. You don't even get the option on this track. This is the only gridding you can do.
I don't know why iRacing ever thought there should be an option for a full grid.
It's an old track. They've forgotten it exists.
It's this is, yeah. Apart from elevation changes, if this track had elevation change, it would probably be one like a top 5 for me. But that's what it's missing.
Sure, yeah.
I mean, it doesn't make it a bad track, but it just can't put it up with the Road Atlantas and tracks like that because, well, even the Portimao Algarve track.
Yeah,
I've been
yeah.
loving that lately. What a, yeah, I'm with you. Wait, is it a single file start or are they just doing it
It is a single file start, yes, because of
so much
chicane.
sense. Yeah.
And this should give a good launch for Chris van der Nesse, who leads us away for 60 minutes of racing here at Montreal. And he is safe heading into turn 1, and surviving this lap 1 will be of top priority for all these drivers. There's a little bit of field spread between everyone. No changes of position down into turn 1. Might just be Rattiani, who maybe gains a place from last on the grid. But out in the top 10, just single file, and the survival and the race starts right here.
Yeah, I don't see any major shakers just yet. Everyone seems to be good. I like single file start here. Here, Le Mans, there's not many tracks where I approve of it, but here is definitely one of them. Oh, so we see a move being made. Is that Bokler?
It is on
it's very
Sketchley.
difficult to make that count. All you really do by doing what he did is put yourself away from the pack. But he has got the switch back on nicely, so he will get this job done nicely. As long as he can outbrake the throw, which he can, he'll get
Definitely
this done.
single file here, and Hooper backs out of it. Hutchinson getting very close as well himself, up ahead of them. Luritzen was able to get ahead of Sketchley. I was misidentifying the cars there, but it's generally been a poor start for Team Bearpipe. Both their drivers losing a place. I think he's going to lose another place here, because Antoine Griman is the next to take advantage. A little bit of contact on corner exit, and he is past. Now there's the Audi of Thomas Avanzini, who is on the tail. I think Sketchley should be safe come the end of the straight due to the draft from the Delatras car ahead.
Yeah, you always pray someone doesn't send it right at the last. That's when it's scary. Getting alongside is one thing, but...
Tofson, I think, has White got a slowdown? I think White's got a slowdown.
Oh, yeah, he's dropping fast. Yeah,
and Yatortus as well. And White's still serving it. They go 3 wide. They're all dancing about. And Zach White has compromised his chances in the early stages here. Due to that slowdown, he's down to 7th place. And look at Puozzi, he's still having to serve his slowdown. Or has he got damage? He's got a little bit of bodywork misalignment. And now there's a spin. It's the ADX car of Del Piccolo. Dalaval has to go off the circuit in order to avoid it, or he'll get a slowdown now. And just the slowdowns on that final chicane have really caused pandemonium for everyone else.
I couldn't tell if that spin was induced by Ascend or if he caught him afterwards. We caught it so late.
He caught him.
It was okay. Yeah, that was... I don't approve of that way of serving a slowdown. You can't be offline serving a slowdown, then use the offline to break late for a move. I don't know. I always say serving a slowdown comes under sort of like a gentleman's agreement. You know, get off the line. You're no longer part of the race. Then once you're back, then you can get back. But yeah, it was a bit late. It was a bit dumb. Serving a slowdown should be, you know, then you resume racing. You don't mid-race it. I don't know. It's just the way I've always thought of slowdowns.
Everyone did well not to make contact at the hairpin. Long train of cars, and usually the drivers just get earlier and earlier on the brakes until someone slams into the back of another driver, but none of that time. Caserta actually down 2 places. Lewitson up ahead of him is down 10 places. I wonder if he got a slowdown, as Perozzi has had to come into the pits, and you are not going to get to the end of the race from here. Caserta also with a slowdown, it seems, and really having to slam on the brakes in order to serve it. And many drivers are now out of position. Bokler over the curb, gets a little bit of a tap from Avazzini, but he's got it done.
I don't think that was a tap. I think that was a park. Like, I don't think the Audi hit the BMW. I think the BMW slowed in the Audi's face, because I think the way he sent it, he had to overslow for the second part. But hey, Verstappen does that all the time. I think that was a good move from Bokler. Not the prettiest move, but a good move. But yeah, very committal then. Yeah, lots of people struggling with the slowdowns. It is difficult because, as we know in iRacing, if you then get to a corner, the slowdown essentially gets paused, or if you throttle in at a corner, gets added to. And this is one of those tracks where all the slowdowns, there's a corner coming up straight after, so it can be difficult. And like, sometimes it's hard to serve. If there's people behind you and they're everywhere and you're starting to get 2 wides and 3 wides, it's very difficult to know what to do on how to slow your car safely.
We're just watching Nikolai Agard, who's recovered a couple of places. He actually had a poor start, did Agard. He finds himself about 16 seconds behind. Maybe not 16 seconds, 12 seconds behind class leader Jonathan Cook, and of course his main championship rival. If Cook manages to get an overall podium, he would take the championship lead, I think, after this round. So he just needs to hold on to as many places as he can, and Agard will try to make up as many places as he can. I'm sure Agard will be up into the top 15 by the end of the race. But there is Jonathan Cook with all those slowdowns for the drivers around him. He managed to make a bit of a break for it. He's 3 seconds clear of Alessandro Porta.
He's doing great. So yeah, I'm just checking Puatti's pit, and it was just well, I want to say it was just a fast repair, but I think he might have left his visor tear off ticked. But yeah, it was a slow fast repair basically. Maybe he took a quick shot of fuel, but I don't know if you what you think the best strat is on that. I've always wondered, like, if you're coming in early for a fast repair in a league race, is it worth it?
What's going on with Cook? Oh, this must be his VR. This must be his VR. What a shame. He was coming back into championship contention.
He didn't turn. Well, it looked like he broke in a straight line and towed. You're right. Like,
I mean,
he was having VR issues.
He was gutted after Sebring race 1 when he was on for another really good result, but this was another level of potential result for him, and it would have given him the championship lead as well. And now his championship is pretty much over, and Nikolai Agard can breathe a huge sigh of relief. Yeah,
I mean, what a shame, because we're not talking about domination here. We're talking, I mean, his nearest competitor's 19th. I think Jonathan Cook could have served a fast repair and still been ahead. What a shame. What a shame.
Already been overtaken a couple of times as Avazzini. You saw that brilliant move from Bokler a couple of laps ago. Bokler's actually got past Sketchly as well. He's one of the fastest drivers. Both the Delachaz automotive cars, actually, of Groman and Bokler, up 5 and 7 places now for the 2 of them. They are some of the fastest drivers out on track, and really, you look at the gaps, and there's not really any gaps up to Porta in 3rd position. So, yeah, those Delachaz cars will fancy their chance. Unfortunately, they've got a bunch of cars to overtake on a very tricky to overtake circuit, but in terms of time, they haven't lost too much in these early stages.
Yeah, Bokler, I mean, we've seen them enough now to form opinions of their driving style and everything about their shortcomings. But I think Bokler just needs to work on his qualifying, right? I mean, I always see him on the standings, like now, up 7 positions. He's always moving forward, which makes him look like a great driver because he is a great driver. But I think he just needs to qualify better now. I think we've seen lots of overtaking from him all season long because of his qualifying, just not being of the same standard as the Toffs, Porter, Zach, and that group that he's usually fighting.
He did set the fastest lap of anyone in last week's feature race. I can tell you that. And he was very close to winning back at Bathurst as well. He was 3rd place. He qualified behind the Absolute Motorsport drivers and spent his entire race there and couldn't do anything with the fuel. So that was probably his best meeting of the season. Also had another 3rd place finish as well earlier on in the championship, but yeah, that Bathurst round was very strong for him. As just an update as well on the Pro-Am, Super Tali top of the Pro-Am, so he's doing well there in 6th place overall.
Yeah, really well. Porsche's 1 and 2. I don't think that really signifies much. I think it would be a good car around here, but I think with the slowdowns and what happened to Cook and everything, it hasn't really given a fair look of the cars that are performing well here. The Lambos aren't doing well this season in this league, I'm noticing.
One driver changed. It was one of your drivers, I think. Can't remember who it was.
Yeah, unfortunately he's unable to race the season. Unfortunately, after joining late and changing cars, but sometimes that is the way.
Here comes a move. I like this move into the hairpin.
We've
that
seen
is how you do it.
Lots of green BMWs overtaking. They seem to be working together on the overtake. Well, not working together, but one at a time. The Porsche's going to have a run here, but unless you get over speed, it's futile trying to fight on the outside, I always feel, because the guy on the inside can just brake late and turn in late. It's not pretty, but how are you going to get past them? And the problem of doing what the Porsche just did is now you cost yourself on exit, because he's going to be right on the butt of the BMW, and you end up really losing time into one by the run to one because of keeping the car offline ahead. So yeah, like we see here, he's just right on top of him. He would have been perhaps 2 tenths further ahead had he just slotted in behind the BMW and let the BMW take the optimal racing line. But it depends. It depends if you're thinking of the mindset of thinking long, which I would. If it's an hour race, it really depends on how far forward on the track you can be, not just the micro battles.
Random update on Alessandro Pierotti. He's just set the fastest first sector of anyone. He is running in 29th place out of 31 cars. Had to take a repair earlier on. Don't know if maybe Luis is able to find a replay of those slowdowns that Pierotti and White got earlier on in the race. It was on the very first lap of the event, and really has been the significant event. Maybe Cook was the significant event, but in terms of like effects on the top 10, those slowdowns on lap 1 really mixed things around and forced White down to 4th place, where he still runs, as Delaval has had an incident. Has he crashed at one of the chicanes? So he's actually spun it on the exit of the hairpin.
Yeah, that don't seem... I mean, it looks like I can see spin marks, but it must have been... Yeah, he's damaged. He is damaged. Let's see. Must have been tart. Oh, is it an NDM? No. Wait, did he just cook it on himself? No way. Hey, no way.
Did he have a rear tyre on the grass? Maybe?
Not sure.
I mean, now he's got another slowdown as well. I mean, he's almost last now, is Delaval. Here it is. We'll find out if he did have a wheel on the grass here.
Oh, yeah, I think he might have carried a little bit. But yeah, no, that's poor from him. He's been super consistent all season, not making mistakes like that. An odd incident for sure.
We'll basically need Porter to not finish the race at this point in order to recover at the championship. Will Delaval needed to outscore him by 10 points tonight in order to keep it alive going into the final round. Porter's almost there. Our AM championship will be over as well, with Cook out of the race. He has not rejoined the track, and understandably so. But the Pro-Ams is looking a bit more live. Del Piccolo would be taking out some points from Hooper as it stands, and would very much be in with a chance of the title going into round 12 of the season next week.
Yeah, it's been a very, considering we are at a street circuit, we haven't seen any major instance, as I see Caserta dropping a couple there. Just checking on that. But no, Alessandro Porta is going to be a miracle from that position. I know you said fastest lap. Was that him?
Fastest first sector.
Oh, yeah, I mean...
I was clutching at straws.
Okay, yeah, because he hasn't got a hope. He hasn't got a hope.
A good train, actually, behind Adam Hedgecock. Pretty much occupying the bottom 6 drivers in the field. Delatz is a little bit detached, but Hedgecock, Van Helden, Rattiani, Caserta, Pirozzi, and Dalaval, and maybe even Luritzen later on, all in a queue in the lowly places.
Right, as we get a replay of Porte.
This is what happened to him on lap 1.
Rewind. Oh, no, he gets... Oh. Oh, yeah, I remember this incident. Let's see. Yeah, I don't know. It looked like they both tried to outbrake each other and then they ended up going too far forward. But it was a bit rough and a bit tight on them both, to be honest. He's on board with Avanzini. He's quite close to Sketchy, who is quite away from the pack in front. Well, full send as we cut to a full send from Bill. And Graman did get past Tokyo, so those BMWs are overtaken in unison. They're always together on track and they're always overtaken.
Slow down for Sketchley there. Hooper gains a place. Extra point for him. White has got past Porter as well. Ooh, Tofts. Has Tofts made a mistake? Tofts has got a slowdown or a mistake because it's very close now for P2.
Very close,
and
yeah.
Chris van der Nesse is now 7.5 seconds clear. Tofts is not going to give this one up. White desperate to get to the inside of the circuit. Tofts is still Larry, and they've got a bit of a queue now. Utortus has come to join this quartet now. I think if Tofts can get back up to speed, he should have the pace to defend from White, but he made a mistake, I think, at turn 2 on this lap, or he got a slowdown.
Yeah, and obviously with Zach's slowdown as well, it's put Van der Nesse 7.5 seconds out in the lead, if you can believe it, after all the queue times we saw. But no, of all the 2 people I want to watch battling right now, you know, feisty drivers who like defending and making moves, that's Tofts and Zach. This is going to be an interesting one to watch for sure. Utortus is hanging in well. He's had a really good latter half of the season. From what I remember, my memory's terrible. But Utortus has been... Felix Tofts is saying 3 slowdowns so far. Oh, that's brutal. Because they're big here. Especially this one. This is huge, the slowdown you get. Let's see, these 2 definitely look like they're going to be fighting.
He could send this one. Good, White. But it's not the biggest braking zone into T1. And the apex always sort of disappears as well with the line that the lead driver takes. Piccolo, I think, has just got past Del Piccolo, I want to say, so he's up into 9th position. Graman has now got past Del Piccolo, and Tokyo has now got past Del Piccolo. So a bad couple of corners there for Del Piccolo, and after being about 8 places clear of Hooper a couple of laps ago, he's now only 2 places clear of Hooper. So that championship gap that he was really cutting into, not quite so large anymore. He's down to 12th position. And by the way, Fowler almost lost out to Agard, but he managed to stay ahead. So Fowler's still leader of the amateur drivers.
Indeed. Ooh. Yeah, really close. Let's see. I mean, it's difficult to do anything from the outside. Let's see. You can always hope for a switchback on the exit, but it still leaves you offline. Let's see. Really good run from the Audi. Agard, right?
Yes.
Got to trust the guy on the inside, though. And the BMW does park it a little bit. But I think Agard's going to have the run here. Yeah, he'll have the run, and now he can just cover him off. And we may actually see Robert. No, I don't think Robert's got enough speed on the BMW. No. Robert's having a look, but I think that's more just showing off the logo on the front of the car for the camera than anything else. Oh, Agard's got a slowdown. That looked like to me. Oh no. Oh no, because that's brutal, that slowdown.
And he had many drivers lined up behind him. Hutchinson moves past A2, does Van Horn.
To get a replay.
Let's get a replay. I imagine it's going to be too much the first curb.
He's just mirror watching. Yeah, he turned him way too early.
Oh yeah,
my
it was
God.
actually the second one. I mean, nowhere near.
Yeah, I think he was just mirror watching. He was deciding, oh, is the BMW going to send it? Is the BMW going to send it? And then looked up and realised there was a turn. So let's see, Porter, Zach. So Toffs has pulled a much more comfortable gap now of half a second rather than those 2/3 it looked like all that. But the battle has played a price because Van der Nesse is now 8.2 seconds ahead.
Roman, the next to pick up a slowdown. I am surprised just how many we've got, honestly. I mean, we were commentating on the Apex Racing League Prototype Championship yesterday, and there was a few slowdowns, you know, a couple on the first lap, but there weren't that many in total, particularly amongst the top drivers. But it seems like no one, apart from Chris Van der Nesse, is safe from these slowdowns at the moment. They are all picking them up, and it's playing a huge part in this race.
It's a huge surprise to me, a huge surprise, because the slowdown here in the last chicane is so brutal that it's almost worth not practicing the track. If you're going to get that slowdown, say twice in the race, you might as well have done 0 practice and just run slow laps and not get slowdowns. It's that impactful over a stint. So yeah, I am surprised. You usually don't see in top split many slowdowns here.
Shout out, by the way, to one of our sponsors, Apex Racing Academy. Of course, Apex Racing Academy are doing their Bathurst deal, so if you haven't got a set somehow for Bathurst 12 hours tomorrow, if you go to apexracingac.com, you can go take the Bathurst 12-hour offers that we have got available. That means that you get setups and track tuition for Bathurst 12 hours from some of our drivers. I think it's Salva Talents who is once again showing you how to get quick around the Australian circuit, and there's also discounts on Apex Racing Academy subscriptions as well, and a few other elements included, so do check out apexracingac.com. As Pagnini was looking the wrong way.
Yeah, it looks like the Ferrari has had... There's been 2 Ferraris. It's a very odd incident to have on the exit of the hairpin here. I think they're both catching, like you noticed, the last part of the curb. That's all I can assume it is. They're catching the rear right on the inside of the curb. Oh, that does not win a slowdown or a rejoin award. He may get away with it, but it didn't win an award.
Didn't get nominated for the Razzies, let's say. Prozzi is fast and very slow now for Carinante, and trying to get underneath him was Rattiani and Dallaval.
Yeah, I don't understand the hanging it on the outside and compromising the guy you're racing and then your exit. I don't get it. I never will. People that do that. Unless you really are going to go too wide in the corner, I think you should just let them, if you're not going to battle them, let them take the racing line and you follow as best you can. So you nearly put it in the wall. So Rattiani, I think, was qualified last. I don't know if he just didn't get a lap in or what went wrong.
He didn't set a lap, no.
Oh, okay, yeah, because it's very unlike him to be last in qualifying, that's for sure.
Dallaval up to 23rd. I am half surprised Dallaval hasn't already pitted, because they can get to the end of the race. Oh, you know what, actually?
Yes, no.
Probably only 40 minutes that you can get on fuel. Maybe not even that. So actually, no, they can't come into the pits yet, but they're very close to. Maybe even on this lap, this might be the changeover lap that they can make it. Van Horn and Luritzen have both had issues. Luritzen's actually off the circuit. He's cut the circuit a lot. They have clearly collided.
Yeah,
and I think it's probably on the entry to the hairpin, and if they can now get to the end of the race on fuel, that was a good time to have the crash.
Let's see.
Oh,
Oh
no.
no. Oh no.
Oh, Hutchinson even got involved.
Aske Lauritsen was asking way too much there.
I think he realised after he hit the brakes, I've messed this up.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a shame. I mean, pit stop is available, but obviously Roberts lost a chunk of time there. Oh, have you seen
White. So White's lost a bit of time. This is the same order as they were, but they're just much more spread out. White lost 1 second in sector 1 of this lap, so he's clearly run wide somewhere.
Yeah, or maybe he was challenged from Porter, to be honest. Because Porter, yeah, I'm not sure. That's given Toffs plenty of breathing room. Botan in chat is cheering on ADX.
Yeah, how are they doing?
Sampoli
in 7th. Del Piccolo back up to 10th now. He got back ahead of Graman, who I think must have got a slowdown. I'm not sure if we saw that for Graman, but he was right behind his teammate Bokler, was Graman earlier on.
Does look hard to pass here in the modern iRacing GT3s with the draft. Very tricky to pass here.
It's all the same with most categories though, like even Formula 1. It's quite a tricky to overtake circuit, this.
Yeah.
Certainly nowadays. But it still produces good racing because safety cars and rain and tyre wear. I mean, recent years it hasn't been so good. I think the last good Canadian Grand Prix was maybe 2019, but I mean, in my childhood, the early 2010s, late 2000s, absolute classics almost every year.
Yeah. This track's one of my favourites. I'd say it would be up there as one of my favourites if we had some... It wasn't just flat. Flat's a big piece. Oh, this is a good camera angle. What? What? That's a really good camera angle for that corner. Alright, we're going to see a battle here. Not easy to pass, though, is Bokler, as we know. Not easy to pass at all. And the Porsche may lose out to the Audi here if he's not careful with his line. Oh. Yeah, I don't know. The Porsche was a little brave there. A little brave. See, Del Piccolo played smart. Go on, sorry.
Yeah, I like the idea from Del Piccolo there, but that was, risky from Tokyo. He was risking contact there, but that was the best way to survive that one, as Piccolo just ensures that there's no move, but this Batsing is inviting back Graman and Avanzini to this fight. Yeah,
100%. Yeah, it was risky. It was a smart idea from Del Piccolo. Oh, the Porsche! Why?
Oh, he's gone for it again. I don't think that one was so on.
No, but I mean, is it Tokyo in the Porsche?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just not making the smartest of entry. Like, he was never gonna, that move was never on, so his next line was gonna be compromised. And again, Del Piccolo seems to be just looking for those where he knows the corner after is gonna be compromised, and he's, showing his nose. But Tokyo does still turn in, so Tokyo is taking high-risk strat. He is not having any of it from Del Piccolo. He is like, if you try it, I'm turning in, so don't even try it. And that mindset will play on Del Piccolo for sure. He'll know Tokyo means business. Has Tokyo always been in a Porsche? I feel like...
good question. I can have a look.
I really feel like Tokyo was in a Ferrari, but...
You might just be thinking of half the other Italians.
Half the other Italians, yes.
And there are a lot of them. Most popular nationality in certainly when it comes to GT3 racing in ARL.
Yeah, 100%.
Tokyo has always been in the Porsche. Half the field has changed cars, but he's not one of them. Oh, that's close. That's contact. And he's going to come into the pits. He's like, yeah, I meant that.
Yeah. To be honest, I mean, maybe, like I said, it is tricky, the pit. Maybe that always was his bit, but he just didn't know where to brake as what a send. But I don't see how he's going to get this done. As saying, it's very difficult to get that, what was attempted done.
It's a weird undercut here because it doesn't work, because you're way faster getting into the pits with clean air than you are when you're blocked, because you actually have to brake for the corner. I think he definitely meant to go for that corner.
Yeah, he did, yeah. I mean, you wouldn't steer right that much to go for the pit. Although he handled that well. Like, if he...
I mean, as long as he hasn't got a penalty, right?
Yes, true. He was
Which he has.
to the right.
He's all right.
So that's a smart handling of a mistake.
Yeah.
Because he barely lost any time. Actually, he might have gained time, because I doubt he would have wanted to enter the pits with that much speed. Let's see. SK Lauritsen is in. Obviously, he had that tragedy in the hairpin, making contact with 2 cars. Like you say, I think he thought about late braking. By the time he realised where he was braking, he realised he was a passenger, and whoever was in his way was going to be no longer in the race.
And Van Horn was the man who was in his way, and Van Horn is now ahead of Lauritsen, so not really karma, but at least it's undone that instant. Bokler and Pagnini both in, so the pit stop's coming fairly quick. We should see the drivers go as far as 40 minutes into the race. I think this is quite a low fuel consumption circuit, as far as I'm aware. Like, the first half of the track, you barely use any fuel. Like this section, that they're just heading into the second chicane and that. You're barely applying the throttle at all. So I think they should be able to go a little bit further compared to some other tracks, but I'm estimating that.
Yeah, I can't remember. Honestly, can't remember. But we're coming up to halfway into the race. Van der Nesse couldn't be happier right now. He can play a very low-risk strategy. But what are the lap times here? I mean, we are going to start seeing lapping traffic issues in, say, 15, 20 minutes at this rate, if it keeps all spreading out as it has. Yeah,
well, Aske Lauritsen is going to be lapped very soon. So the others might be lapped when they start coming into the pits, the likes of Mads Lauritsen, Ludovic De Laat and Cheyenne Van Helden. If they come into the pits, they are going to be in amongst Van der Nesse and Tofts.
Yeah, so the close battle up the front is the Zach, Porter and your Tortoise. Then you've got Ubertali and Sampaoli there gaggled up together. And then the biggest of the gaggle is led by Del Piccolo with Grumman, Zini, Hooper, Sketchy. I mean, there's a bit of a gap between those.
Still Fowler leading the AMS. Agard's attack sort of petered out, didn't he? He got ahead, then he got a slowdown. And he hasn't really been able to come back since. Now got Hutchinson between them. Del Piccolo comes into the pits, and so too does Fowler. I think if you've got a clean track ahead of you at this point, come into the pits. Because if you're having to brake for someone ahead of you into the chicane, then you're throwing away a second and a half compared to if you've got a clean run. And you don't know if a back marker's going to come ahead of you, if someone's going to get a slowdown ahead. So, yeah, I think that might be the sensible choice to come in now.
Yeah, it depends how many lappers. Like for Van der Nesse, he just wants to manage how many lappers, because the problem is he doesn't want to come out the pits and be whacked like into the middle of a bunch of traffic people who aren't going to pit for a long time. It's difficult to judge. As we're on board with Ubertali, we've got that's fine. We got Zach. Zach is not. I'm not going to say Zach's struggling, but we know Zach can keep up with Tofts. Like, they're very similar skill level. We saw lap times in qualifying. So yeah, maybe Zach is struggling with something, maybe a bit of damage from something, or just a slowdown and then just lack of motivation. Oh, Van der Nesse. Yeah, and quite a few are in. Porter's in as well.
Porter almost stayed flat out there. That was a decent run for Porter. He did have to lift out of it a little bit. Ubertali in from the Pro-Am lead.
Someone's driving a red pickup truck with the driver of the red pickup truck.
No tyres for Van der Nesse. Everyone else, I think, is taking his tyres.
Oh, someone missed their box. Who is the Audi back there?
Oh, come on. Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, I thought Chris had messed that up because he was being held for a while, but he's back out 23 seconds. But yeah, no tyres. If he could have taken 4 tyres with no cost.
Yeah, for sure. Whoever the Audi was pitting, they missed their box. It's definitely going to cost them. I'll see when they come out of pits, because I'll see the person who had a long pit stop. Ah, it was Ubertali. Yeah, missed his pit box. Let's see. Yeah, 24.2 seconds, so 1.2 seconds. Which doesn't sound like a lot, but it's a stationary pit. It's stationary lost time. They're the worst.
Crucially stays ahead of quite a pack of drivers who had already come into the pits. Bokler, Graman, who's recovered well after a slowdown earlier on, Tokyo and Del Piccolo all sat right behind. It hasn't really worked out too well for Del Piccolo. He's still at the back of that train of cars, which I think actually he may have been ahead of a couple of those guys as well before the pit stop. So Del Piccolo might be may have lost out in all that.
Hello, Thomas in chat. I hope you're well. We're watching Zach. So Zach's just come into the pit. So has Toff. So has Sampaoli. So your Tortoise is in the lead temporarily. Right, as we keep an eye on their pit stops. Toffs is taking tyres. Zach is taking tyres.
Porter came out into some clean air, so Porter's outlap is going to be pretty good. Don't think it's going to be enough to challenge White, however. He was about 2.5 seconds behind before, and Van den Esse will retake the lead. Should be a good 8 seconds clear or so.
He's running strong. Just keeping an eye on these pit stop times. That was a very fast pit stop from Toffs. 21.88 and a 21.82 from Zach, so that was even faster. Yeah, Zach was the fastest pit stop of the day. I mean, we don't do an award for that, do we?
No, we don't, actually. Well, well, this man would win. He took a 5-second pit stop.
Yeah, but Pagnini, 20.47. I actually think that's so fast the poor guy's might need to stop for fuel. He's a second quicker. 1.4, sorry. He is 1.4 seconds quicker than anyone in the pits.
It did get him track position on Carl Sketchley.
Yeah.
Let's see if he gets to the end.
I'm not sure. If you're 1.4 quicker than the people that usually fuel save up front, then you know usually you're in trouble. Oh, and
he's already got a slow down, so he's given up the position. I mean, at least that's a little bit of fuel saving he's just done.
Yeah. True. I'm not sure it's 1.4 seconds of fuel, but...
Not the most efficient way.
No, not. No.
Your
Tortoise is in.
Final man in. So that was as fast as fuel went. Maybe this is a high fuel consumption circuit. I may have been being thick. Because, yeah, only 35 minutes. And Pirotti into the pits as well. He pitted on lap 2 of the race for repairs.
Of course, yeah. So let's see.
So can your Tortoise get ahead here or Porto? It could be quite close, this. He went 2 laps further, did your Tortoise. He's coming out of the pits now. I think your Tortoise might have this.
Yeah.
He has. Brilliant work there from Howard as your Tortoise. Porter took the initiative by going for the earlier pit stop. I think was trying to get the undercut on White, but it hasn't worked out. Your Tortoise with a clean run into the pits, managing to get ahead by about a second.
So we just complimented your Tortoise on that pit stop and gained the position. It's like 1.8 seconds Pignini was shorter in the pits. I think that has got to come back to bite him. Must be. Unless there's just a timing issue with it. Who are we on board with now? Poiti and... Is that Dalaval in Franklin? Yeah.
Yeah, Dalaval now up to 19th place. Poiti, of course, just came into the pits for his second pit stop of the evening. Dalaval, how much further could these guys get? They could certainly get up to 15th and 16th, maybe Tokyo. They could certainly get Fowler, Agard, Hutchinson. Any further than that might be too far.
Yeah, I agree.
A shout out to another one of our sponsors, by the way, VRS. VRS offering their wheelbase, their wheel rim, and their pedals as well, used by some of the best drivers in all of sim racing. If you want to get that extra little bit of performance from your sim racing, VRS equipment is certainly a good place to go. So do check out apexracingsim.com for more details, where you can also find cube controls equipment as well as Hussenfeld engineering equipment. So apexracingsim.com, a really good place to upgrade your sim racing hardware. Do check them out at apexracingsim.com. This battle is reigniting. Fowler had about a 20-minute respite from Agard after a slowdown earlier on for the Norwegian driver, but he's back again, and Fowler is having to work hard to keep the AM class lead.
Yeah, it does look a very close battle. The Audis look good here, I have to say. The Audis, the Porsche, the cars with a lot more rotation seem to be the picks around here, as opposed to the BMW. But I think the BMW as well, we've seen them all get slowdowns, just seems to be the best one over the curbs. So it's a bit of a sacrifice here. I would personally, at a track like this, want the more nimble of the cars. It doesn't have the same fear factor as Bathurst. It's more about curb handling and confidence here. Ooh. They do like to get close.
Gotta defend. That's the Quad Dash racing driver. Now this is the opportunity for Hutchinson to make up a lot of time on these drivers. Agard late on the brakes. Oh, Fowler makes contact, but Agard's going to have the better exit. It's almost a carbon copy of his move earlier on, actually. And again, they almost make contact on exit, but Agard gets it clear. It was clear that Fowler was too early on the brakes. He let off the brake a little bit. That's why he ran a little bit wide. But Agard had enough momentum from that position.
Yeah, really well done. He understands the hairpin perfectly, and how to get the run off it, and that's all you need.
I mean, he's close to the off track again there, or the slowdown again, but because that's exactly how he got the slowdown earlier on. He got the move done at the hairpin on the outside, and then cut the chicane. But this time he took a lot of curb, but not too much.
Yeah, 100%. That's good traction from the early, that's fine. So Van den Esse, through the pit stop phase, has lost a lot of time, right? Oh wait, he's losing a lot of time now as we speak. 2/10 in the last second. But yeah, Van den Esse... Wait, was it Van den Esse that didn't take tyres?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I mean, something's wrong, because, I mean, he had 8.5 second lead. Now it's down to 4.8.
Well, he lost 2 seconds in the pit stop. So it was like 6 seconds when they came out of the pits. So he's lost 1 second since the pits. But he's lost a bunch of time on this lap. He lost 2/10 in Sector 1, 2.5 tenths in Sector 2. I don't understand the logic, Chris.
No, I mean...
Hutchinson...
He may very well have meant to, but it just all went wrong, and this is why his pit stop was long. He was just, you know, deciding what to do.
Yeah, he lost 6.5 tenths that last lap, did Van den Esse.
Yeah, hopefully he can hold his tyres together. Well, he'll be losing time, but the Toffs and Zach on those, well, Zach's a bit too far back, 3.5 seconds off Toffs, but Toffs certainly can definitely mount a challenge here.
Vogtler's just got past Ubertali, that's for P7. His teammate Graman, I imagine, will soon be past. They've only got San Pauli not too far ahead, so Vogtler could still get P6, which, considering that he started 19th, would be...
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Vogtler, I'm calling it now. We need to undo all Vogtler's celebratory overtakes. He just needs to start qualifying better. Like, I think he's just after content.
He's the Perez of Apex, basically.
Yes, correct. No, yeah, he's always solid. Up 12 positions, which says a lot. And his teammate Graman up 7. I'm thinking they put endurance fuel on for Q accidentally, both of them.
I think Avanzini may have just been overtaken by Del Piccolo. I'm not 100% sure. Yeah, he did. Yeah. So Del Piccolo up to P10 now. He's actually recovered quite well. They are teammates as well, to be fair, those guys. So maybe some choreographing. At the moment, Del Piccolo would be outscoring Hooper, I think, by 4 points. And the gap was, what, like 30 points going into this round? So mathematically, he could still bring it back, could Del Piccolo, but he's not really making much headway at this round. By the way, there's a couple of comments from Simon Livingston and Jonathan Cook in chat for the championship, I believe, Jonathan, it's over. I think with the way that the drop scores work, I don't think you can come back from here. So that's disappointing. Because I think Nikolai, the worst he can score in the next round is like 30 points. And so I think it might be over. Not 100% sure, but yeah, I think it's all over.
All right, so Robert Van Horn looking to get this done. He's got the inside. Just needs to spot his braking point and ignore the car on the outside. Yikes. Yep, job done. Job done. And was that Carriente in front?
That was, yeah, Carriente. Yep. In 25th, up 1 place. Pretty good attrition rate so far. We've got the top 28 drivers still in the lead lap. Even Van Helden and De Laat for Vortex Precision Racing, last of the runners, only a lap down, only just over a lap down. Tokyo is off the track. So that's a free place for Dalaval and Perotti. I wasn't sure if they were going to necessarily pass Tokyo, but they have now done so.
Got a replay of Tokyo.
Ah, grass.
Yoicks! Yoicks! Oh no. Oh no. Oh. Kill the TC. Oh, careful if he almost took off his rear wing.
That's one of the options that I saw on Le Mans Ultimate. That there is a button which, yeah, you can kill the TC, I think, instantly.
Yeah, nice.
Which is a nice feature.
100%. Van den Esse's in trouble. Toffs is absolutely flying. Second a lap quicker. He is just... This isn't Van den Esse making mistakes. Toffs is just right now, fresh tyres, second a lap quicker to Van den Esse's old tyres. And that 8.1 second comfortable lead where all he had to do was be consistent is now turned into how hard can he push the tyres without being on rims. Because, yeah, Toffs... the other thing is Toffs is not under pressure anymore. Toffs is just full send.
Yeah, and that's the advantage, like, around a track like this, with the slowdowns how they are, and with how the walls are. It's a huge advantage in terms of pace to be second place, because, yeah, you can throw caution to the wind, you've got nothing to lose. This lap, it's a lot more balanced. First sector, Van den Esse was a 10th faster. Second sector, they matched. Third sector, Van den Esse was about 2/10 slower. So over across that lap, Toffs gained half a tenth. So Van den Esse was about half a second faster than the previous lap, and Toffs was about 4/10 slower than his previous lap. So they sort of met in the middle there.
Yep, well noticed. But yeah, let's see, because I mean Toffs, I think I saw him do a 34.5 last lap, the lap before last, which is nigh on quali pace. Oh, got a nice little gaggle formed here. Dalaval, Hutchinson, and is that
Fowler.
Oh,
Fowler's
yeah.
ahead of them.
Yeah, Sliff Boys having a rough day today for them. Considering where they are in the team championship and how they got there was being super consistent and racking up the points. And Dalaval, we once attributed with being the guy who just doesn't know how to finish outside the top 4. Down in 18th.
Yeah, this would be his second drop score, I believe, Dalaval, of the season. Yeah, he had a no score. His next worst score is 105 points. This result, I'm not 100. Oh, it's a little bit aside. This result will get him about 80 points, I believe. So by far his second to worst result of the season.
Yeah, yikes. Toff's now 2.9 seconds off Danessa. I think we're going to have a nice little battle on the last lap. Let's see. And Porter and Zach are together now.
It's,
yeah, go on.
Well, actually, no. I thought it was interesting. It's not actually interesting. That the time where he's gaining, Toffs, is actually mainly in the final sector, which in my mind is just the final chicane. But it's not. It's the final chicane. It's the hairpin. and it's the chicane before the hairpin, I believe, is the final sector. So that seems to be the area of the track. Maybe it's coming out of the hairpin where Van der Nesse is really struggling, because I imagine it's rear tyres that you're going to be suffering from it.
Yeah, and just confidence, right? Like having those tyres under you when you chuck them through a big curve, and you know, like the World of Champions, you really want the car to grip up quickly so you can, well, you know, not become one with the wall. But no, I mean, if I'm dramaing it up, if Van der Nesse just hits all of his marks and be consistent, then there's only, what, 13 minutes left, he'll be fine. But he just can't make any slip now, because I don't think he has the car to defend from Toffs. But yeah, it's just odd to see someone of Van der Nesse's skill, especially with an 8.5 second lead, let it get down to, you know, it was 2.9 at one stage.
Would be probably the biggest win of Van der Nesse's Apex Racing League career. He is an absolute veteran, has been racing in these leagues, dare I say, maybe as far back as 2019, certainly 2020. He was driving back in the Sunday night GT3 league we used to host. Back then he was an amateur driver, 2.5k, something like that. And you look at him now, doing very, very well for himself. He did win race 2 earlier on in the season at Sebring. That was his first ever Apex Racing League win overall. But this, a 60-minute race, after getting pole position as well, no reverse grids playing a part, especially around a Montreal circuit like this, would be a massive achievement.
Some in chat saying they, in their opinion, points should be based on classes and not overall. I had a quick think, and I do think it should be overall. Because
I would have stormed out if you said the other way.
Well, no, you know, I'm always brutally honest. You know, I'm always brutally honest, and I did think about it, and I can get how it works on the way down, where, like, in Jonathan's situation, that I get it, but it does take away from an epic result. Like, the result Jonathan Cook would have had today had he been, say, P4, and where is Agard? Where is he? Let's see.
15.
15. Yeah, it takes away from an epic achievement like that, and it stops it just being that the AMs just let people through because they're not racing them. So if you're 4th and Jonathan Cook wanted to maximise his points from Agard, then the best thing to do is just to get out of the way and not fight anyone on track.
You would pretty much have 3 different races going on out of
correct,
the circuit,
yeah.
if you have that. So, no, this has been considered many times, and overall, yeah, I think it's the best way to go. You like you said, it rewards drivers for beating Pro-Am and Pro drivers, and it just means that you got twice as many opposition, or 3 times as much opposition, because you're fighting the Pro-Ams and the Pros as well.
Yeah, and it means everyone is... It's almost like a golf handicap. Everyone is out there competing against each other. It's not like the AMs have to let pros go. You're all competing against each other, and then when the points are calculated, yeah, you are given a hunk more points if you know, yeah, if you come P5 as an AM and your nearest competitor who finished pretty much where they should in, say, 14th, you get a big haul of points. Big haul of points. And so you should.
Gratiani with a bit of a slowdown there, and Caserta trying to drive on a piece of circuit where he isn't, and Gratiani serves the slowdown a little bit more, and Caserta's up to 22nd place now. Crazy that there's 4 pros in 18th, 19th, 20th, and 22nd at the moment.
Yeah, it's looking tight, and I think Van der Nesse's got this. It's 2.8, it's the lowest it's been, but with 8 minutes 30 on the clock, he's fine. He just, no slowdown, sir. Just do your laps.
Yeah, Tops made a mistake on the first sector of the previous lap. He lost 0.4 of a second in the first sector. So he's the one who's making the mistakes, if anything, which is understandable, seeing that he's the one who needs to make up the ground. Really good first sector for Van der Nesse there. Good first sector as well for Tops, actually.
Yep. Nubatali doing well. Oh, as we cut to him, look at that. This is a solid result. Our Pro-Am leader looking very strong.
Oh, that is
that
San Pauli.
Yeah. Did he just drop just the rear right on the curb and flat spin?
That would be a good rejoin if he can rejoin.
Yeah, let's have a look what happened.
Oh, he's
coming a little hot. Yeah, no, way too hot. Yeah, yoinks. How is he going to get this?
Rejoin?
Yeah, oh no.
Oh, he's pulled it off. Oh, he nearly hit his teammate.
Teammates, he nearly destroyed both of them.
And almost into the wall. I think he was in the wall there. Pagnini slithering his way through.
That would have been clip of the season had he rejoined into both of his teammates. Oh dear. Oh, we've got a gaggle forming here. There's definitely going to be a send from the Audi as the Audi looks for the inside. BMW does leave it. Yeah, I think we're going to get a send here, 100%. Yeah. The BMW driver can complain all he's want, but you just must. If you don't want to be send, then you just keep the door closed. Because the Audi definitely had the overspeed. I think the BMW is going to lose 2 positions here.
Here comes a side draft from Hutchinson. And he's given that up. And that was a late move. I mean, if Pirozzi got hit there, he would have had no one else to blame but himself. But Hutchinson himself was early on the brakes.
Yeah, Hutchinson is flashing those lights. He obviously did not approve of the Audi move. I personally thought it was just hard racing and the Audi did it clean. Yeah, there was a lot of door banging at the apex, but it's just hard racing. How do you feel, Sammy? Would you have just kept that door closed on the Audi?
Yeah, I would have probably put it in the middle of the circuit, I reckon. Going into the corner and maybe given the opportunity for them to send it, but yeah, I would have defended a bit more. But yeah, I think the actual move probably fair enough on that occasion. Yeah,
I'm not saying it was the cleanest move in the world. Yeah, they're both missing some paint, but he held mostly the apex. He held enough that I thought was okay. But O'Mark's a solid driver, as we know. But yeah, the Audi had such overspeed. Let's see, who are they catching now? Fowler?
Yeah, Fowler's doing really well. I know that he's not going to beat A-Guard today, but I think this has probably still been the best performance from Russ Fowler all season long. I'm trying to look back at his highest point score. He's 6th place in the championship. He's finished 3rd out of the AMs a couple of occasions, but his highest point score was actually last time out at Aragon, 65 points. I think this round he'll be getting about 70 points, so it would be very nice for the AM Joe. However, he's got 3 quick guys behind him. Delaval, by the way, has been sat behind Hutchinson for a while, and so I don't think Delaval's going to gain any more places, honestly. This quartet might be a bit in a stalemate. I think the most likely move is going to be Pirozzi making his way past.
Yeah, Hutchinson needs to keep eyes forward because we know Delaval's a very fast guy. Not had his best race, so qualifying was something off, mistakes in the race. Yikes, this is going to be spicy. I think the BMW on the inside is going to have all the traction in the world, though. Although the Audi does look to carry a lot of speed. Yeah. Wow. Who's this Audi driver? What? Hey, God.
Oh, here comes Hutchinson.
3 wide. It's over.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Well, that works pretty well for everyone. Was there a slowdown for Hutchinson?
I think so. I think he went 3 wide. I think that was a 3 wide.
I think he totally cut the corner.
All right, we've got a replay. Let's see who made it 3 wide. Yeah, oh, maybe Hutchinson didn't know. Yikes, I mean, he might be annoyed with Fowler there, but I don't know if Fowler had anywhere to go. That was just unfortunate. I don't think either of them knew it was going to be 3 wide. They both, it all happened at the corner, right?
I think Pirozzi was a bit earlier on the brakes than what anyone was expecting, and Fowler sort of had to go alongside in order not to hit Pirozzi, and obviously Hutchinson was already there. So I think if it's anyone's fault, it's going to be Fowler's, but even then he should escape a penalty. Is that a slowdown?
Not sure. I think he's just... No, I think he's just slow off the corner. Let's see. Yikes. 2 BMW side by side. I think Hutchins should get this done. It's pretty easy to get this move done on when you're on the inside corner. Yes, he just keeps him out wide. Yeah. I think Hutchinson's got this done. Yeah, Fowler breaks early and facilitates it. Oh, Hutchinson not the quickest off the first corner, though. I don't think he's going to... No, he's not going to send it. We have seen a lot of that today, where moves getting done and then causing them to blow the next corner and it making it a lot spicier than it needed to be. A lot. Toff's down to 2.1 seconds off the lead, but still, although that's 6 seconds that has now been eaten into Van der Nesse's lead, it's still too much, right? It's too much to ask.
Yeah, and there's no traffic for them either. So, yeah, they're fine. Hedgecock is the next one up the road for them, but it's not too bad. Sam Powley marginally ahead of Pagnini, and Helden is very slow. He was battling with his teammate Ludovic Delat, and they seem to have come to blows, maybe. Graman has just got past Upatali as well, so Graman is up into 7th position.
Let's see what happened to Van Helden.
Oh no, this is going to be teammates crashing.
Oh! Sorry, I should have muted. That was funny. Oh dear. I assume not noting voice because, yeah, the guy on whoever was in front of the two was struggling in the first corner, overheated his tyres, and then, yeah, lost the rear slightly. Not like he wouldn't have spun, but then the guy in behind has just, they've touched and NDM spun them both. Spun them both at the exact same time in the exact same way. What a shame. But it did make brilliant content.
It did make good content. I don't think we're going to post that on social media. I don't think we're that harsh.
No.
Van der Nesse, 1.8 seconds clear. And the previous lap, he lost 0.3 of a second. On this lap, he loses 0.3 of a second.
Is this white flag we're on now?
Yes.
Okay. 1.8 it wasn't there. Oh, wait. Toffs has got a slowdown.
Oh, well, that's it.
Yikes. I mean, it's not going to bring Zach into contention, but... Wait, is this more than a slowdown? Is it... Wait, he's...
No, I think it's just a bad slowdown.
He almost didn't serve it in time because he slammed on his brakes there. Like, you know, it got down to probably a few seconds left to serve. And the problem is that, as I say, this... I don't know how widespread the knowledge is. It's the corners. If you enter a corner while you have a slowdown, the slowdown will be paused. If you throttle, it will be added to. And I see so many drivers, especially at the Nordschleife, get caught out with misunderstanding how it works. Because the Nordschleife is unfortunate. You know, if you do cut the corner too much, then it's very difficult to even serve a 1.5 second slowdown because it's constant corners. Yeah, that cost Toff's huge.
Upatali, after being passed by Graman, looks like he's going to be the Pro-Am winner. Agard is comfortable in the lead of the amateur class as well. He's well clear of Fowler now at this point of the race after Fowler was fighting so hard with those other drivers. But out in the lead, where he took a race 2 victory earlier on in the season, Chris Van der Nesse. Yeah. That was his first race win in Apex Racing League, but this is another level. He takes the 60-minute race at Montreal, and despite taking no tyres, he managed to beat out Jacob Toffs, who slowed down, or yeah, just that time lost in the early stages perhaps was the decisive factor. White finishes in 3rd position, Porter in 4th, Yatorta's close behind in 5th, Bokler and Graman up 13 and 9 places respectively, but Upatali will be top of the Pro-Am drivers once again. And that is the 2nd time this season that he has come out on top out of the Pro-Ams. Top of the Am drivers is going to be Nikolai Agard, which I think whilst not... Oh, there's going to be a late move. Running out of fuel. I think Pagnini has run out of fuel on the last lap and gets overtaken by Sketchley, and you called it about half an hour ago. Congratulations.
Thank you. Yeah, that's all the credit I needed. Otherwise, he would have just been a fuel-saving master. But yeah, I think he definitely lost more time than he saved, shorting the fuel. But I think if you're 1 lap out, it is a shame. It is a shame. Oh,
Vattiani got Luritsen.
Yeah. I can get behind that after Luritsen's hairpin move.
Yeah,
But no, I mean, it
Oh,
wasn't
come on, Robert.
intentional.
Robert,
Oh,
Robert, you gotta go,
no.
man. You gotta go. He's gonna lose 2 places here. Hedgecock and Carinante. Oh, they didn't get him. How did he hold on?
I have no idea. What was his pit stop time?
He took
Oh,
2
no.
pit stops.
Yeah, because one was a fast pair, wasn't it? Yeah. So he obviously just went super aggressive on Fjorn's second, which I can get because if you've already gone down pit road, then yeah, no, I've been there. I get that. But obviously, it cost him in the end.
So here are the results. Chris Van Den Esse wins by 5.9 seconds. Doesn't really tell you the story of the race because at one point, with 15 minutes to go, it looked like a matter of when, not if, Jacob Tost would catch up to him. But Van Den Esse performed when he needed to and held on to that once was 8-second lead all the way to the finish. Zach White was in 3rd position ahead of championship leader Alessandro Porter, and I believe Porter's now got the points to win the title. We won't be 100% sure on that. I can't be bothered doing the maths, and we can be absolute about it after the next round. But Porter, congratulations, pretty much did all you needed to do. Your Tortoise in 5th place, then it was Bokler and Grumman. Wonder where they could have been, I think, fighting for the podium if it weren't for their poor qualifyings. Ubertali was top of the Puraz. Del Piccolo, good performance from him, and his teammates helped him out. The ADX Racing Esports drivers of Avanzini and Sao Pauli put a couple of cars between him and Hooper. The championship gap now down from what was 29 points. I think it will be down to about 22 points after that result. Behind him was Sketchley, Pagnini, Agard was top of the AMP drivers, Puozzi was in 16th, then it was Hutchinson, Fowler, who had a very entertaining race, Torquio with the 2-stop, Dalaval, who had a late issue, which dropped in a couple more places, Schwab, Rattiani, Luritsen, Van Horn, Hedgecock, Carinante, Caserta, Luritsen, Delat, Van Helden, and the one retiree, Jonathan Cook. And you really think, where would Cook have been? P3? I think it's a possibility. I think he would have at least been P6 because his pace in qualifying was great and in the race was great as well and would have taken the championship lead potentially, but instead his championship chances are all but gone. Let's drag up a driver for us to have a chat with, and I really want to have a chat with this man, Chris Van Den Esse, who joins us now. Chris, congratulations. What a performance. I mean, the win back at Sebring was like a good result, but, you know, it was partially down to the reverse grid, so, you know, there was that element of it. Tonight, you've gone up against 30 drivers in this series, and you've beaten every single one of them in qualifying and the race. How does it feel?
Yeah, amazing. I mean, it's the first time something like this happened to me. So, I mean, I feel really good. Pole position. Unfortunately, not the fastest lap, but we'll work towards that the next time.
Talk us through that qualifying lap. You were a little bit behind after the first runs behind Zach. Zach really seemed to put in a good time. He was about quarters of a second clear of you. What was it about your lap that you were really focusing on to find that extra time?
Turn 8 pretty much. But to be honest, all my qualifying laps weren't really that good. I wasn't happy with them. So I was actually pretty surprised I got the pole position in the end. But to be fair, turn 8, doing it over and over again and mounting the curb in exactly the right way just gained me a lot of time.
And of course, in that first stint, you managed to pull away. The slowdowns for the guys behind really held them up, and a bit of batsing as well. Then we saw you didn't take any tyres. What was the logic for that?
Yeah, I don't know. To be fair, before this league, I've been out of iRacing for a little bit, so I don't know what's right to do and what's wrong to do. So I just overfueled by a lot because I didn't want to risk it and just stayed on the same tires. But it worked out in the end.
Yeah, was there ever a moment where you were shaking a bit that you were going to be caught? Because with 15 minutes to go, it really looked like you were going to be caught. How were you able to stop Toff's catching? Because at one point he was gaining a second a lap.
I had a little bit of pace left after the pit stop, so I was doing it a little carefully. But after that, I saw him closing, so I just had to put my foot down and try to minimize the time loss as much as possible. But my tires were just cooked, so I was just holding on pretty much. But pretty lucky that Tofts had a little trouble with the traffic as well, it seemed like. So it worked out in the end.
Yeah, you pulled it off really well. Congratulations, Chris. Is there anyone you'd like to give a shout out to?
Yeah, again, team Tom. He's just been putting in so much work for the team. So thanks to him.
Awesome. Well, thanks for having a chat with us, Chris, and we'll see you back next week.
See you guys.
Yeah, GG's.
Chris Van der Nesse, your race winner tonight, and his highest ever points total in an Apex Racing League event. David, who would you like to drag up?
You know who I'm going to drag out. I want to ask Jonathan about his VR, but I'm going to bring up my friend Zach to have a chat with him and ask him about the race. Hello, Zach. Can you hear me, mate?
Howdy.
Howdy. How did it go, mate? Talk me through it. So you looked fast in practice. You looked fast in queue. It looked like you could have got the pole, but yeah, talk me through it. How did it go?
I want to know why the devs of this simulator decided to put a 4-second slowdown on the final chicane, because that wasn't very nice.
How
Yeah.
early did you get it, right? Because we know obviously iRacing can be a bit picky if you haven't done a clean lap. Had you
Well, like the slowdown. Like I
yeah,
got it
had
on
you
the second last corner. I looked at the replay. I was like barely over the line, and
Oof.
4 seconds. I don't understand how it got. Yeah.
No,
anyway.
what was it lap one of the race or was it lap two? Like how
Yeah.
early? Yes. The problem is iRacing slowdowns, they use the speed of a car to determine them. So if you get a slowdown, especially a big one like that one, and it doesn't know the pace of the cars, which it wouldn't have that early in the race, it can be brutal to serve, and it doesn't slow down. Like you find it just doesn't reduce.
Yeah, it full cooked my run. I was doing good.
Yeah, I know you did look quick. How was it? How was it with slowdowns for the rest of the race? Did you pick up any?
Oh, I just kept getting them. Kept getting worse and worse. It's a massive snowball, eh? Full cooked.
On to you got Bathurst 10 tomorrow? Bathurst 12, sorry.
Yeah, I'm starting in half an hour. So,
Okay.
Yep.
All right. Well, best of luck, mate. Anyone like to give a shout out to before you head off and get ready to race?
Probably the Vermilion guys. That I'm racing with today, Ben and Jake. They're pretty good. All of our sponsors, Hymo, Moser, Race Lab. We got a long list. Burb, Berlin Motor Group, Supermoto Motorsport, Innovative Race Preparation, and Whitey's Pies. Magpie's great again, and I'd just like to say, how good is rugby league? Yeah,
Brilliant.
that's it. Cool.
Excellent. Nice chatting with you, pal. We'll talk soon.
See you, mate.
See you, pal. Is that quiet, everyone? There you go. He was obviously happy with his pace, but unhappy with the slowdown. You could tell.
Yes, yeah, he did suffer from that pretty bad. Particularly that lap one slowdown, that really cost him a lot. Let's next have a chat with Jonathan Cook, who joins us now. Jonathan, man, we watch along. We don't have favourites or anything. All we want is close races and a close championship. And man, if you got that P3 or even like a P6, I think you would have been tied on points going into the final rounds. I mean, I'm gutted for you. I'm sure you're 10 times more gutted than me, though.
Yeah, I've had an hour now to calm down, but yeah, I just like I just hate VR, man. So unreliable sometimes. I don't know why it's been really dodgy tonight. All in practice, it just kept disconnecting and stuff. And then I thought I had it fixed, and went for a wee, and I came back, had to reconnect, and then yeah, it decided to just cut out on me again, which is super frustrating. But yeah, just got to keep saving, and hopefully I'll get triples at some point. So.
Yeah, I recommend it. Or that or an ultra wide. I don't know what your rig is like, but yeah, that would be a pretty nice upgrade for yourself. How was it running up in P3? It must have been pretty nice.
Yeah, I mean, funny enough, all week I've been absolutely dreading tonight because I've had good pace, but the car has just never felt perfect, and the setup has always been horrible. I've not really not enjoyed driving. I've really done probably less amount of laps I have in all the circuit calendars we've done so far. I've absolutely hated it, and in qualifying, it was the first time I used the setup, and I just managed to pull the sort of lap of my life out. That was the best lap I've done here so far. So, yeah, I don't know. necessarily where it came from, but came at the right moment. And then the race I was just gonna take it easy, try and get a top 5. Or at least it was putting a good showing for myself, and suddenly ended up in P3, and I was like, oh, getting like a lot of blood to the head here. Like I'd never been this high before. But it is what it is. Heartbreak. So pain.
Uh, yeah. I was trying to do the sums in my mind. I think maybe you do have a chance at that title, but I think I'm pretty sure Nikolai would need to not finish like you have tonight for you to, and you'd have to finish like P3 next time out, which to be fair is possible after your performance tonight. We got Okayama next up for the season finale. You like that circuit? I mean, everyone's done laps on it. You're a fan of it back in the Mazda days?
Yeah, I was gonna say I've only driven it in Mazdas, but haven't they recently done like a new scan of it and new curbs? I've not driven sort of the
Yeah, it's
new.
like it's not a new scan as such, but it's like they've changed all the graphics on it,
Ah,
and so
okay.
yeah, the curbs are look different, but I think they're all in the same places.
Got you. Yeah, no, I'm looking forward to it because it's not a track I've done in GT3s, but I've done it all in sort of the lower sort of officials you do when you sort of low iRating. So I'm looking forward to it. I don't know if it necessarily be a BMW track. I would have thought it'd probably be a maybe a Porsche or an Audi or something, or maybe a Ferrari. But I always like trying to get the BMW as far as I can. So
Well, we wish you the best of luck for it. Is there anyone you'd like to give a shout out to?
yeah, I mean, obviously, congratulations, or at least a 90% or 95% congratulations to Agard that he's pushed me, the whole season. He's been more consistent. I've had a bit more sort of troublesome season. He's managed to keep out of trouble a lot better than me, and he's deserving of it. Even if I did have a better pace in the last 2 rounds or last 3 rounds or something, but he's been absolutely phenomenal, and obviously his teammates been helping him a lot. So credit to the team as well, because they've done some good work with him, and he's fully deserving of a promotion next season to Pro Am, and I'm sure he can mix it up there and really maybe even push for Pro Am title as well next season. So so congratulations, or at least well done to him, and then thank you to you guys for the broadcast, and keep going. I'll still turn up next week, don't worry. So I look forward to it.
That is very good news to hear. Well, best of luck, Jonathan, in order to sleep tonight, and also best of luck for next week as well.
Yeah, thank you very much, guys. Cheers.
See ya.
Jonathan Cook there, who was running as high as P3 and was undoubtedly going to win the race tonight, but unfortunately his VR lets him down. David, I mentioned it before there, but Okayama next time out. Personally, a track that I really like. Whatever car it is, I don't know if it's nostalgia, back to my early days. I like sort of the slow speed sector that you have from the hairpin to the final corner. Like there's few circuits where it's quite that busy around that part of the track. So
Yeah,
I'm a fan of it.
I've been racing there this season. It was at VRS, was it 2 weeks ago? I was in the Porsche, had some fun, picked up a win, picked up a... I'm not sure if I got a pole. Actually, I think an Apex guy jumped in and pipped me on that. But yeah, I had a lot of fun. It's very demanding. Qualifying's very important. The pit stop phase is also really important. It's going to be an interesting race. It is quite demanding, but it's good. I like it. It's just a little bit hard on tyres and consistency. I did find, for me, it was all the nimble cars. Like Porsche was far and away my pick, but I imagine the Audi and Lambo, I think, were the second choice. I think, I think Jono's right. The BMW. I'm not saying it can't work. It's just, as we know, it's quite a tight, tricky, technical track, and I just never feel that lends itself to, say, the BMW or Merc style of driving.
Sure, yeah. So we'll see if there's a bit of a divide between the drivers next time out. I have just updated the points, by the way. In the pros, Porter 1084, Delaval 1036. That one's over. That one is decided. In the Pro-Ams, Hooper 723, Del Piccolo 702. It's down to 21 points now in the championship. He's almost half the championship gap with 1 round to go. And in the AMS, Agard 612, Cook 551. So yeah, Cook wins next week overall, then he can bring it back. But I think short of that, he is not going to be able to make up the points. So we'll see what happens on that one.
Yeah, we'll
well,
see.
that is end of the broadcast. We will be back in the studio next week for the season finale from Okayama, where we will crown our champions. Of course, there's way more action coming up on Apex Racing TV over the next week. We've got the Radicals. I think that might be going on right now. In fact, the official series. We've also got Weekend Warriors with the Formula Fords and the Spec Racer Fords on Sunday. We've got Ray Esports, we've got Rick Motec with their Touring Car Championship and their Sports Car Championship. We've got Apex Racing Academy Porsche Cup returning fairly soon, and loads more stuff as well. So do check out Apex Racing TV's social media accounts and subscribe to our YouTube channel as well. And also leave a like on this video, we would much appreciate it. And of course, thanks as well to our sponsors, Apex Racing Academy, Apex Racing Simulators, VRS, and SDK Gaming. But for now, from myself, Sam Fitzpatrick, from David Sampson, and from Luis Araya, we will say goodbye and we'll see you back for the season finale of the Apex Racing League GT3 Trophy next week at Okayama. See you then.
See ya.